Liam, stop staring at me like that, Olivia said with a soft smile as she adjusted her scarf. I'm memorizing your face, I replied. 2 years is a long time, she sighed, leaning against the kitchen counter. It's not forever, just studies. You'll blink and I'll be back. That's what everyone says before leaving, I muttered. But things change when people go far. Her eyes flickered, but she forced a laugh. You don't trust me. I do, I said quickly. I just know distance can turn love cold. I've seen it happen. Olivia reached for my hand. You're not everyone else. We're us. You've been with me since high school. That doesn't vanish because I'm in another country. I squeezed her fingers, but I couldn't ignore the knot in my stomach. Promise me. Promise nothing will come between us. I promise. Her voice was firm, but she looked away for half a second. I noticed. I always noticed. The door creaked and Ethan strolled in like he owned the place. Am I interrupting something? Lovebirds. You always interrupt, I said, rolling my eyes. Ethan grinned. Just checking if my best friend's still alive. You've been glued to Olivia for days. What happens when she leaves? Going to cry yourself to sleep? Olivia laughed. Probably. He can be dramatic. Not funny, I muttered, though they both ignored me. Ethan threw an arm around my shoulder. Relax, man. She's going abroad to study, not to disappear. That's easy for you to say, I snapped. You're not the one staying behind. Ethan's smile faded a little. You're right. But you're also stronger than you think. Don't let fear poison what you've got. Olivia nodded, her eyes soft. Listen to him, Liam. Believe in us. That's all I ask. I wanted to believe. God, I wanted to. But something inside me whispered otherwise. The night before her flight, we sat on the porch, staring at the quiet street. The lamppost flickered, and a cool breeze carried the scent of rain. All right, every week, Olivia said, sipping her tea. Emails, calls, everything. You won't feel the distance. You say that now, I replied. But what happens when assignments pile up? When you meet new people? New people don't erase old love. She set her cup down. Stop doubting me. I'm not doubting you. I'm doubting the world. Then doubt the world, she said firmly. But don't doubt me. How? Her conviction cut through my fears for a moment. I smiled weakly. Fine. I'll wait. However long it takes. That's what I need to hear. She rested her head on my shoulder, but her silence afterward was heavier than her words. At the airport, the crowd buzzed around us. Families hugging, children crying, announcements echoing overhead. My chest tightened as Olivia clutched her boarding pass. Don't look so sad, she whispered. How am I supposed to look? I asked. My wife is leaving for years. She touched my cheek. You'll be proud of me when I come back. I'll make something of myself for us. Just don't forget me in the process. She chuckled, but her eyes darted away for a second too long. Liam, you're impossible. Say it again, I demanded. What? That you'll come back to me. The same you. The same us. She hesitated before nodding. I'll come back. The same me. The same us. The boarding announcement echoed. She hugged me tightly, her body trembling against mine. I love you, she whispered. I love you more, I said, clinging to her like she was air. And then she pulled away, her eyes glossy, her smile forced. I watched her walk toward the gate, my heart pounding with both hope and dread. Ethan's voice broke through the noise as he stood beside me. She'll be fine. You'll be fine. I kept my eyes on her figure until she disappeared. I don't know, Ethan. Something feels off. You're overthinking, he said, patting my back. Maybe he was right. Maybe I was overthinking. But as Olivia vanished into the tunnel, that fleeting glance, the one where she looked at the floor instead of me, lodged itself deep in my chest like a seed of doubt waiting to grow. Liam, check your email, Olivia's voice buzzed through the phone one late night. I already did, I said, smiling. 3 paragraphs this time. That's a whole essay from you. She laughed softly. You're impossible. I'm drowning in assignments. I don't care about assignments. I care about you. I'm fine, she answered quickly. Really? I'm just tired. Her tone was clipped, but I ignored it. I'm working extra shifts. By the time you come back, I'll have enough saved for a house. Don't push yourself too hard, she muttered. Money isn't everything. It's not money, I said firmly. It's us. Our future. Silence. Then her fake yawn. I need to sleep, Liam. Talk later. Before I could protest, the call clicked dead. The next morning, Rachel walked into the kitchen, tossing her bag on the counter. Another short call. I nodded, pouring coffee. She's busy. That's all. She used to talk your ear off, Rachel said, narrowing her eyes. Now she can't even stay on the phone 10 minutes. You don't see the difference. She's studying in another country, I argued. People change routines. Not like this, Rachel shot back. I've seen you waiting hours by the phone like some desperate teenager. I'm her husband, I said sharply. Waiting isn't desperate. It's commitment. Rachel folded her arms. Commitment's a two-way street. Right now, you're the only one walking. Her words stung, but I shook them off. You don't understand. She's under pressure. Rachel's eyes softened. Maybe. But don't blind yourself. That night, Olivia sent another email. Just 5 sentences. Classes are tough. Professor Montgomery pushes me hard, but I'm learning a lot. Hope you're well. Love, Olivia. I stared at the screen. Professor Montgomery. First time she mentioned him. My stomach tightened. When she finally picked up my call, I tried to sound casual. So, who's this Professor Montgomery? My mentor, she said quickly. Why? You never mentioned him before. Because you'd overreact, she muttered. Overreact? We're married, Olivia. You have a male professor you spend time with, and you hide it. Liam, she said, exasperated. He's just a teacher. He helps me with research. Don't make it weird. I'm not making it weird, I said, my voice rising. You're the one being defensive. Her sigh echoed through the line. I don't have the energy for jealousy. Good night. The call ended again, leaving me staring at the dark screen. Days passed. Calls shortened. Emails shrank. One evening, Ethan sat beside me at the bar. You look like hell. Thanks, I muttered. She's still pulling the disappearing act. He frowned. Do you believe her? I keep trying, I said, rubbing my temples. She says she's busy. I keep believing her. Your gut, he asked quietly. My gut says something's wrong. Then listen to it, he said firmly. Don't let love make you blind. I didn't answer. My chest already felt heavy enough. A week later, Rachel caught me at the table scrolling through Olivia's latest email. Just 2 lines this time. Professor Montgomery wants me to assist him on a project. Might be late for calls. Don't wait up. Rachel snatched the phone. She's using his name too often. You don't see the pattern. I grabbed it back. Stop. It doesn't mean anything. Rachel's voice rose. It means everything. She's slipping away and you're letting her. I love her, I snapped. I'd rather trust her than drown in suspicion. And what if trust drowns you? Rachel whispered. Her words stayed long after she left the room. Another night. Olivia, are you there? I whispered into the phone, pacing my room. Static crackled. Sorry, bad connection. Internet's terrible tonight. That's what you said yesterday, I muttered. It's true. Then why won't you video call? I just want to see your face. I'm exhausted, Liam. Can we not fight? I'm not fighting, I said softly. I'm begging. I miss you. She sighed. I'll call tomorrow. Okay. The line went dead. At work the next day, Marcus leaned against my desk with his usual smirk. Still waiting on long-distance love letters, Romeo. Not in the mood, Marcus, I muttered, staring at my screen. Relax, he said, chuckling. Just saying. I've seen this movie. Girl goes abroad, finds someone new. Poor husband plays pen pal. I glared at him. Olivia's not like that. He shrugged. Hope you're right. Loyalty's fragile, man. His words stuck in my head long after he walked away. That night, Rachel stormed into the kitchen, tossing her jacket down. Another excuse from Olivia. Bad internet, I said quietly. Every night can't be bad internet, she shot back. She's avoiding you. Don't say that, I snapped. Liam, open your eyes, she said, her voice softer now. You're clinging to someone who's letting go. I slammed my hand on the table. She's my wife. And I'm your sister, she said. I can see you breaking and I can't stand it. Her words cut deep, but I couldn't answer. Later, Ethan sat with me on the porch, 2 beers between us. You're drowning in silence, man. I don't know what else to do, I admitted. Stop chasing her like she's the only oxygen in the world. Breathe for yourself. I looked down. Easy for you to say. You don't wake up reaching for someone who isn't there. Ethan handed me the beer. Then write it out. Get the poison out of your head somehow. That night, I opened an old notebook and started writing letters I'd never send. Weeks turned into months. Calls grew shorter. Emails turned into single lines. I filled pages with the words I couldn't say to her. One night, my phone buzzed. I answered immediately. Olivia. Her voice was shaky. Yeah. Sorry it's late. I don't care what time it is, I said quickly. I'll always answer. Just talk to me. I'm so tired. Then let me carry some of it. Please. She paused, then whispered, I miss you, Theodore. The name punched the air out of me. What did you just say? Silence. Then the line clicked dead. I stared at the phone, my hands trembling. Theodore. She had called me Theodore. The next morning, Rachel noticed my pale face. What happened? She called me by another name. Rachel's eyes widened. Whose name? Theodore, I whispered. She slammed her fist on the counter. And you still think nothing's going on? My throat tightened. Maybe it was a slip. Stop making excuses for her, she yelled. She's gone, Liam, whether you admit it or not. I turned away, but tears blurred my vision. At work, Marcus caught my blank stare. What's wrong, lover boy? She ghosting you again? Shut up, Marcus. Guess I hit a nerve. He chuckled. Told you distance kills. I stood up, fists clenched. Say one more word. He raised his hands in mock surrender. Fine. Fine. Just don't expect me to say I didn't warn you. His smirk haunted me all day. That night, I stared at my journal, pen frozen. Words wouldn't come. Only the sound of Olivia's slip-up replaying in my head. Theodore, I whispered to the empty room. The silence answered back, heavier than ever. And for the first time, I wondered if Olivia was already gone long before I was ready to let her go. The airport buzzed with noise. Families reuniting. Laughter echoing. My hands shook as I gripped the railing, eyes fixed on the gate. 2 years. 2 years of silence, excuses, and hope. Finally, Olivia was coming home. Relax, man, Ethan said beside me. She'll be here any second. I can't, I whispered. My chest feels like it's going to explode. The doors slid open and travelers poured out. Then I saw her. Olivia. My Olivia. Her hair was longer, her skin pale, but her smile, my heart stopped. She wasn't just Olivia. She was Olivia with a swollen belly. The world blurred around me. My breath caught, my stomach twisted. Pregnant. She spotted me, her eyes lighting up. Liam. I didn't move. She rushed forward, arms wide. I missed you so much. I froze, staring at the curve of her stomach. My voice cracked. What? What is that? Her arms fell. Liam, please. Don't. Don't you dare act like nothing's wrong, I snapped, stepping back. Tears welled in her eyes. It's complicated. Complicated. My laugh was hollow. We haven't touched each other in years, Olivia. Complicated doesn't make you pregnant. Please, not here, she begged, glancing at the crowd. I shook my head, heat burning my face. Whose child is it? Her lips trembled. Liam. Whose? My voice thundered. She broke down, covering her mouth. People stared, whispers spreading like wildfire. Ethan pulled me back. Not now, man. Let's go somewhere private. I couldn't stop glaring at her belly, a belly that didn't belong to me. We sat in the car, silence heavier than steel. Olivia clutched her bag, tears sliding down her cheeks. Say something, she whispered. I gripped the wheel, knuckles white. I waited for you. I worked for us. I killed myself holding on to every promise you made. You come back carrying another man's child. I didn't mean. Don't. I cut her off. You don't trip and fall into pregnancy. Her sobs grew louder. I was lonely. I was lost. He was there. My chest tightened. So there is a man. Liam, I still love you, she pleaded. This doesn't erase us. Love. I spat. You betrayed me in the worst way possible. Don't you dare use that word. Back at the house, Rachel was waiting. She ran toward me, then froze when she saw Olivia's stomach. What the hell, she whispered. Olivia looked down, ashamed. Rachel's eyes snapped to me. Liam. Pregnant, I said flatly. Rachel gasped, fury rising. You're kidding me. After everything. Rachel, stop, Olivia cried. No. Rachel shouted. You don't get to stand here like a victim. My brother gave up everything for you, and this is how you repay him. Olivia sobbed harder. I made mistakes. Mistakes. Rachel's voice cut like a knife. A mistake is forgetting an anniversary, not carrying another man's child. Enough. I shouted. The room went silent. I can't breathe right now. I just need space. Rachel glared at Olivia but stayed quiet. Olivia reached for me. Please, Liam, don't turn away. I still want you. I stepped back, my chest aching. I don't even know who you are anymore. The next day, Diane showed up, her heels clicking against the porch. She hugged Olivia tightly, then turned to me. Liam, you have to understand, Diane began. Understand? I barked. Explain to me what part of this I'm supposed to understand. She was under pressure, Diane said gently. She was far away, isolated. She needed comfort. Comfort. I laughed bitterly. So another man's arms were comfort. Another man's bed was comfort. Diane's face softened. It doesn't mean she doesn't love you. It means she's human. Human. I snapped. Do humans not have self-control? Do humans not honor vows? Liam, please, Olivia whispered. Don't let one mistake erase everything we built. One mistake. I shouted. This isn't one mistake, Olivia. This is a child. This is forever. Tears soaked her cheeks. I wanted to tell you sooner. I was terrified. You should have been terrified before you betrayed me, I muttered. That night, I sat alone on the porch. Ethan joined me, handing me a beer. You okay? He asked softly. No, I admitted. Not even close. He nodded. I don't know what to say. There's nothing to say, I whispered. She shattered everything. Do you still love her? I closed my eyes. Yes. And that's the cruelest part. When I finally went inside, Olivia was waiting, her hands resting protectively on her stomach. I sat across from her at the kitchen table, my chest tight, my palms sweating. The silence was unbearable. Finally, I leaned forward. Tell me the truth. Whose child is it? Olivia's lips trembled. Liam, please. No more games. No more excuses. I want the truth now. She broke into tears, clutching her stomach. The baby isn't yours. My heart cracked like glass. I forced the words out. Then whose? Her voice shook. Professor Theodore Montgomery. The name echoed inside me like a gunshot. My stomach dropped. Professor Montgomery, I repeated slowly. The mentor you kept mentioning in your emails. She nodded, eyes filled with shame. It wasn't love. It was comfort. I was alone and he was there. I slammed my fist on the table. Comfort. That's what you call this. I worked double shifts, saved every dime, starved myself of happiness so we could have a future. And you found comfort in his bed. Olivia sobbed. I didn't plan it. I didn't mean for it to happen. You didn't mean it. My voice cracked. You meant it every time you chose to be with him instead of being faithful to me. You meant it every time you avoided my calls. You meant it when you called me by his name. Her eyes widened. You heard that? Yes, I said, my throat burning. That night you slipped. You called me Theodore. I wanted to believe it was a mistake, but now I see it was the truth clawing its way out. She covered her face. I hated myself for that. And yet you kept going, I spat. You didn't hate it enough to stop. Rachel stormed in, her eyes blazing. What's going on? I looked at her, my face pale. It's not mine. The baby. It's Professor Theodore Montgomery's. Rachel froze, then turned to Olivia. You slept with your teacher. Olivia sobbed harder. It wasn't what you think. Rachel's voice cut like a knife. Don't you dare sugarcoat it. My brother worshipped you, Olivia. He gave up everything. And you? You betrayed him with a man old enough to be your father. Stop, Olivia pleaded. I didn't love him. What was it then? Rachel snapped. Charity. Boredom. Or was it just easier than staying loyal? Olivia buried her face in her hands. I was lonely. I was weak. I made mistakes. Stop calling it a mistake, Rachel roared. A mistake is forgetting to reply to a message. This was deliberate. Ethan walked in behind Rachel, his expression heavy. So it's true. I nodded, my voice hollow. Professor Montgomery. Ethan shook his head. Man, she broke you. She broke everything. Olivia turned to him desperately. Don't make it worse. I know what I did. Ethan glared. You don't know the half of it. He worked himself sick for you, Olivia. And you chose betrayal over loyalty. I didn't choose. Yes, you did, Ethan said coldly. Every time you let him touch you, you chose. Olivia clutched her stomach protectively. Regret doesn't erase reality, I whispered. The room felt suffocating. My head pounded as Rachel touched my shoulder. Liam, she said softly. You need to leave her. Don't chain yourself to someone who spit on your love. Ethan nodded. She showed you who she is. Believe it. I looked at Olivia. Her face was pale, her eyes swollen, her body trembling. My chest ached with love and rage clashing like thunder. Do you still want me? She whispered. I laughed bitterly. Want you? I don't even know who you are anymore. I'm still me, she cried. I still love you. Love. My voice cracked. You loved me while sleeping with him. You loved me while carrying his child. It wasn't love with him, she shouted. It was survival. Survival. I barked. Survival is working 3 jobs to keep a promise. Survival is swallowing loneliness so your partner doesn't feel abandoned. What you did was betrayal dressed up as weakness. Her tears streamed down. I was wrong. I know I was wrong. But I can't undo it. I can only beg you not to give up on me. Rachel scoffed. Unbelievable. She doesn't deserve you, Liam. Olivia looked at me, desperation in her eyes. Do you? I couldn't answer. My throat closed, my heart split. I wanted to scream, to hit something, to disappear. You're breaking yourself by staying here, Ethan whispered. Rachel added, you can't fix this. She doesn't want fixing. She wants forgiveness without consequence. Olivia reached across the table, her fingers trembling. I'm asking for mercy, Liam. Not excuses, just mercy. I stared at her hand. I thought of every night I'd lain awake, writing in my journal, convincing myself she still loved me. I thought of the sacrifices, the hours, the faith I carried alone. And now it all mocked me. I gave you my life, I whispered. You gave me humiliation. Her hand dropped. Her shoulders shook. The house fell silent except for her sobs. I stood, my legs unsteady. Rachel looked at me with concern. Ethan gave a slow nod. I can't do this right now, I muttered. Olivia's voice cracked. Where are you going? Anywhere you're not, I said coldly. She collapsed into tears as I walked out the door. The night air hit me like ice, but it was still easier to breathe than inside that house. For the first time in years, I realized the truth. Wasn't just shattered. It had shattered me. The days blurred into one long ache. Every time Olivia tried to speak, her words only made the silence heavier. Liam, please, she whispered one morning, clutching my arm. I know I broke us, but don't throw everything away. We can raise this child together. I'll make it right. I pulled away, bitterness rising in me. How do you make betrayal right, Olivia? Do you erase him from the child's face? Do you erase him from your body? She shook her head, tears sliding down. I can't undo the past, but I can promise you my future. Your future? I laughed bitterly. I used to believe in that word. Now it tastes like poison. I stopped going to work for a while. The bottle became my company. One evening, Rachel found me slumped on the couch, beer cans scattered all around. Liam, she said sharply, snatching the can from my hand. This isn't you. You're drowning. What else am I supposed to do? I muttered. Every time I close my eyes, I see her belly. It mocks me, Rachel. That child is a monument to my humiliation. She sat beside me, her voice soft but firm. Then don't let it destroy you. Walk away. I don't know if I can. You can, she pressed. You just don't want to face the truth yet. At work, whispers followed me like shadows. I overheard two coworkers near the water cooler. Poor guy, one muttered. His wife came back pregnant with her professor, right? The other replied, imagine raising another man's kid. My fists clenched, but I stayed silent. I wanted to scream that I wasn't that weak, that I wouldn't raise a betrayal. But the shame locked me in place. Later, Marcus cornered me in the break room, his grin cruel. Hey, Liam, heard the news. You playing daddy to the professor's kid? I glared. Shut up, Marcus. He chuckled. Relax, man. I just don't get it. If my wife cheated, I'd throw her out. But you. You're still hanging around like a lost puppy. I slammed the fridge shut. Say one more word, Marcus. He raised his hands mockingly. Hey, don't get mad at me. I'm not the one who slept with your wife. My chest burned. I wanted to hit him, but instead I stormed out. His laughter echoed behind me, sharper than any punch. The phone rang late that night. I almost ignored it, but something in me reached for the call. Hello. I croaked. Is this Liam? A woman's voice asked. Yes. Who's this? My name is Margaret Montgomery, she said softly. I'm Theodore's wife. The name hit me like lightning. I sat up straight. Why are you calling me? Because you deserve to know what kind of man he is. My husband was fired today. The university launched an investigation. Turns out he's been preying on female students for years. I swallowed hard. Years. Yes, she whispered. Olivia wasn't the only one. He used his position, his charm, his power. I thought he was just unfaithful. But this was calculated. I gripped the phone tighter. You're saying she wasn't special? She was just one of many. Margaret's voice cracked. I know that doesn't ease your pain, but I need you to understand, he's destroyed more lives than just yours. Olivia walked in, rubbing her eyes. Who's calling this late? I held the phone against my chest. Theodore's wife. Her face drained of color. What? I put the call on speaker. Margaret, tell her what you told me. Margaret's tone sharpened. Olivia, you're not the only one. My husband has been sleeping with his students for years. You weren't loved. You were used. Olivia's hands shook. No. No, that's not true. It is, Margaret said coldly. He's a predator. You were one of his victims. Olivia sank into a chair, her voice trembling. I thought he cared. I thought I meant something. You meant nothing, Margaret snapped. He destroyed me, my children, my marriage. And now you see, he destroyed you too. I stared at Olivia, fury and pity colliding in my chest. So that's the truth, Olivia. You weren't his first. You weren't his last. You were just another broken promise on his list. She looked at me with wide, wet eyes. Liam, I didn't know. I swear I didn't know. Does that make it better? I asked bitterly. Because I can't decide if you were cheated or if you just chose to cheat. Margaret's voice softened. Liam, betrayal is betrayal. But maybe knowing she was manipulated gives you a clearer picture. My husband is a monster. I clenched my jaw. But she still said yes. She still hid it. She still came home carrying his child. Olivia whispered, I was weak. I believed his lies. I thought you and I were drifting apart and he filled that space. I slammed my hand on the table. Don't you dare use me as your excuse. I never stopped loving you, Olivia. I never touched anyone else. I carried us both while you gave yourself away. Margaret interrupted quietly. I don't know you, but I know what it feels like to live in Theodore's shadow. He ruined me. He ruined you. If you let him, he'll ruin her too. You deserve freedom. So does she, if she ever learns to face the truth. Olivia shook her head violently. Don't talk about me like I'm a victim. I made choices. I slept with him. I lied. I hurt Liam. That's on me. Her words hung heavy. For the first time, she admitted it without excuses. I looked at her, then at the phone. Margaret, thank you for calling. At least now I know, Theodore's no man, just a parasite. Margaret's voice broke. If you ever need someone who understands, call me. Good night, Liam. The line went dead. Olivia buried her face in her hands. I was such a fool. All those nights, I thought I was loved. I was just another name to him. I sat across from her, my hands shaking. So now you see. It wasn't a love story. It was manipulation. She sobbed. Does that make it easier for you to forgive me? I laughed bitterly. Forgive you, Olivia. Whether you were tricked or not, the wound is the same. You let him into our lives. You let him break what we had. But I didn't know, she cried. And I didn't care, I snapped. I gave you everything. You didn't need him. You chose him anyway. That's the betrayal. Her eyes filled with tears again. So there's no hope for us. I leaned back, exhausted. Hope died the night you chose Theodore. Whether he loved you or not doesn't change what you did to me. The house fell into silence. Olivia stared at the floor, her hands trembling over her stomach. My chest ached with conflict, rage at Theodore, sorrow for Olivia, disgust at myself for still caring. Finally, I whispered, maybe Theodore losing everything is karma. But that doesn't erase what you did. His downfall isn't your redemption. Olivia's tears spilled freely. Then what am I, Liam? I looked at her, my voice low. You're the reason I no longer believe in promises. The dining room buzzed with the usual chatter, silverware clinking, plates being passed around, voices overlapping. I sat at the end of the table, quiet, my hands folded neatly. Tonight wasn't about shouting. Tonight was about silence. Olivia leaned close and whispered, "Why are you so quiet?" I smiled faintly. Because I don't need to shout anymore. Her brow furrowed, but before she could ask, her father cleared his throat. "Liam, you've been quiet all night. Something wrong?" I met his eyes. "Actually, yes. There's something everyone should know." The table stilled. Her mother set down her fork. "What is it, dear?" I looked at Olivia, then back to them. "Olivia's pregnancy isn't mine." For a moment, silence was the loudest sound in the room. Her father's voice cracked like thunder. "What did you just say?" I repeated calmly. "The child she's carrying isn't mine." Olivia gasped, her face draining of color. "Liam, please." Her mother shot up from her chair. "Olivia, tell me he's lying." Olivia's hands trembled. "Mom, I can explain." Her father slammed his fist against the table. "Explain." "Explain what?" "That you've humiliated this family. That you've dragged us through the mud." Olivia broke down, tears streaming down her face. "I didn't mean for this to happen." Diane, who had been quietly sipping her wine, looked down and avoided my eyes. She knew. She had known for a long time. I turned to her. "Say something, Diane. You were the first to know, weren't you?" Her lips trembled, but she stayed silent, her gaze fixed on her glass. Her mother's voice cut through the tension, sharp and shaking. "Olivia, who is the father?" Olivia sobbed harder. "Please don't make me." Her father's voice roared. "Answer." Olivia shook violently, her words spilling out in a broken rush. "It was Professor Theodore Montgomery." Her mother gasped, covering her mouth. Her father froze, then slowly turned toward me, pointing an accusing finger. "And you knew this? You sat here smiling while she—" "I knew," I said evenly. "I knew for weeks. But I thought the truth deserved an audience." The room erupted into chaos. Her mother wailed. Her father cursed under his breath. Diane pushed her chair back and whispered, "I can't do this." Olivia collapsed onto the floor, clutching her stomach, her sobs breaking the air. I didn't want it to end like this. Her father turned on me, his voice sharp with fury. "Why didn't you say something sooner? Why humiliate us like this?" I looked at him steadily. "Because silence cuts deeper than screams. I wanted you all to see her lies for what they were, not my accusations, but her own collapse." Her mother whispered, "My God, Olivia. With your professor." Olivia wailed louder. "I thought he loved me." Her father's face burned red. "Love? You've disgraced us. Disgraced Liam. Disgraced yourself." I stood slowly, keeping my voice calm. "I'm not here to debate. I just wanted the truth out. Now it is." Olivia reached for me through her tears. "Liam, please don't leave me." I stepped back. "You already left me a long time ago, Olivia." I just didn't walk away. The months after I walked out were a blur, empty bottles, long nights, silence heavier than noise. But slowly, with Rachel and Ethan pushing me, I started clawing my way back. Rachel sat across from me at a cafe one morning. "You look better," she said, stirring her coffee. I smirked. "Better than half dead, you mean?" She leaned forward, grinning. "Seriously? Your eyes aren't as hollow. You've been sleeping. Not drinking as much, at least. That's progress." I smiled softly. "And I'm back at work." "Yeah." I nodded. "Boss called me in last week. I thought he'd fire me for all the missed days. Then he gave me a promotion." Her eyes widened. Wait, you're serious? I laughed quietly. Yeah. Said he saw potential, just lost in a personal mess. Guess he was right. She reached across the table, squeezing my hand. You deserve it. You've carried so much. I swallowed hard, her warmth grounding me. I don't know if I deserve it, but I'll take it. Later that week, Ethan dropped by my apartment. He scanned the room and whistled. No bottles on the counter. Impressive. I chuckled. You keeping score? Damn right I am, he said, plopping onto the couch. You're doing better, man. Proud of you. This feels strange, I admitted. Like I'm standing again, but on shaky legs. That's how rebuilding works, he said. You stumble, then you stand stronger. I looked at him. Stronger, huh? He grinned. You will be. Trust me. One evening, as I left the office late, I spotted Margaret waiting outside. She held a folder, her expression tired but kind. Margaret? I asked. She smiled faintly. I thought I might find you here. Do you have a minute? Of course, I said, surprised. Want to grab some tea? We sat in a quiet shop nearby. She exhaled. It's been rough, papers, lawyers, the kids asking questions I can't answer. I nodded. I get it. Every day feels like stitching a wound that keeps reopening. She looked at me carefully. And you? Healing. I'm trying, I admitted. Work helps. Friends, too. But some days, I still hear her voice. Margaret's eyes softened. Same with me. I still hear his promises, and the lies beneath them. I stared at my cup. Betrayal carves deep. But maybe it doesn't have to define us. She tilted her head, smiling gently. That's what I'm starting to believe too. We're scarred, but scars mean survival. I managed a small smile. Scars don't mean weak. They mean healed. Her lips curved. Exactly. We sat in silence for a while, the quiet not heavy, but almost peaceful. Finally, she said, you know, talking to you makes me feel less alone. Same here, I admitted. Maybe we can keep talking. Not about them, but about us. Our lives now. She nodded. I'd like that. Weeks passed. My apartment felt brighter, lighter. I cooked meals, went jogging, even laughed more. Rachel teased me one afternoon. You're glowing, Liam. Who's the lucky girl? I rolled my eyes. It's not like that. Ethan smirked. Yet. I chuckled. Margaret and I are just two people trying to stand again. That's enough. Rachel leaned in. And maybe when the time's right, you'll find more than just standing. You'll find joy. I breathed deeply, realizing she was right. For the first time, I wasn't drowning in betrayal. I was rising. One night, I sat on my balcony, the city lights flickering below. I whispered to myself, I'm not the man who was broken at that dinner table anymore. For the first time, the words felt true. The knock came late in the evening, just as I'd finished dinner. I froze, knowing before I opened the door who it would be. When I pulled it open, Olivia stood there, a baby in her arms. Her eyes were swollen from crying. Liam, she whispered, her voice trembling. Please let me in. I hesitated, then stepped aside. She walked in, clutching the baby like a shield. You shouldn't be here, I said quietly. I had to come, she answered. I can't stand the silence anymore. Please, just hear me out. I crossed my arms. What could you possibly say now that I haven't already heard? She took a shaky breath. I know I destroyed everything, but this little girl, she deserves a chance. Her voice cracked. And one more thing, I still love you. I shook my head. Love? You love Theodore too, remember? Or was that just comfort in a lonely place? Tears streamed down her cheeks. It wasn't love. It was a mistake. A terrible, selfish mistake. But you and I, we had something real. Please don't let it die. I stared at the baby. She yawned, innocent eyes blinking up at me. My chest tightened, but not for Olivia. For the life she'd brought into this world through betrayal. Don't look at her like that, Olivia whispered. She's not guilty of what I did. She deserves a father. She already has one, I replied coldly. And it isn't me. Olivia flinched. Liam, please. I can't do this alone. I need you. We need you. I laughed bitterly. Now you need me. Where were you when I waited nights for your call? When I begged you to show me your face over video? When I poured every dollar into saving for your future? Where were you then, Olivia? Her lips trembled. I was lost. I was weak. But I found my way back. Doesn't that matter? It's too late, I said flatly. She set the baby carrier on my couch, stepping closer. She whispered, look at me. Look at my eyes and tell me you don't feel anything. I forced myself to meet her gaze. Her eyes were desperate, pleading, the same eyes I once would have died for. But now they held no power. I feel something, I admitted. She gasped as if I'd slapped her. Pity. Yes, I said, my voice steady. Because once you were everything to me. And now you're just a ghost who keeps knocking on doors that aren't hers anymore. Her shoulders sagged. Liam, I'll change. I'll prove it. Stop. I cut her off. You've said enough. There's nothing left to prove. Her sobs filled the room. The baby stirred, letting out a soft cry. Olivia picked her up quickly, rocking her back and forth. Please, she whispered through tears. For her, if not for me. I walked to the door and opened it. Olivia, listen carefully, I said quietly. I loved you once, more than myself, more than my own future. But now I love myself more. And that means I can't keep bleeding for someone who cut me open. Her tears fell harder. So this is it. After everything, you just closed the door. Yes, I said, my hand resting on the frame. This is it. She stared at me for a long time, then clutched the baby tighter. One day you'll regret this. I shook my head. No. One day you'll understand why I had to. Slowly, she stepped out. I closed the door gently, her sobs muffled by the wood between us. I leaned my forehead against it for a moment, breathing deep. The weight on my chest didn't vanish, but it shifted. It wasn't chains anymore. It was release. I whispered to myself, the story's over. And for the first time, I believed it. Not because she betrayed me, but because I finally chose myself.